Cool.
What's up, YouTubeites? So what should I say? What's shaking, YouTubeite? Welcome to the CovrPrice Comic Book Shakers of the Week, aka the Offer List. Although there's a couple interesting books on here that are pretty new that I think you get a good chance of getting maybe 2 for 10, maybe 3 for 10. There is one on here that I definitely know nobody has. So why you guys are congregating? Let's see if we can play some freestyle music for you since tomorrow is Friday. So we go freestyle Friday. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what we got for you guys, boys and girls.
It's a mad world. 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 Baby talk. Baby talk. Baby talk. Baby talk.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started. Nothing can stop that now.
Yo, you guys got a bonus track today. We lost.
Get a man down.
Yeah, we're man down. Well, hopefully he'll come back. But I had to drop that one because of the just incredible Obi-Wan teaser. If you didn't get goosebumps, you're dead inside. It was incredible. I was surprised they actually even showed it. Unfortunately, it was the only thing they showed, but it was incredible. But speaking of incredible, this is the CovrPrice Comic Book Shakers of the Week, sponsored by our friends over at CovrPrice for your price guides, collections, and trends. Also, our friends over at Key Collectibles for all your pressing, grading, and facilitating needs, go hit up our friends at Key Collectibles on Facebook.com/Key Collectibles or Instagram.com/Key Collectibles. So the show is also sponsored by our friends over at KRSComics.com. Use discount code LOTLB to save 10% off of anything exclusive on their store. This one dropped yesterday, actually. There's nothing dropping tomorrow, but once again, this show is sponsored by CovrPrice, KRS Comics, and they happen to be getting together to do something. Check out CovrPrice tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, for a free giveaway. They're not selling anything. It's the launch of CovrPrice's Whatnot, and they're just giving away $5,000 worth of books, and books donated from Boom Studios, KRS Comics, Image Comics, and Scout Comics. And since we have Jack on the show, what can you tell us about this here thing? What do they have to do? They just need to sign up and follow CovrPrice, or what do they need to do on Whatnot?
Yeah, all you got to do is sign up for a Whatnot account, download the Whatnot app, sign up for an account, make sure you're following the CovrPrice account. They're going to go live tomorrow. Everything, 100% of these items will be free. The shipping will be free. You are absolutely not going to want to miss this. We're talking like major incentive ratio variants, like 1 in 500. You're talking about these like invincible variants. We've already been talking about them on the shaker list. Adam Eve, brand new one. All the awesome Scout mystery box. You see the Something's Killing the Children ash can. Hot exclusives. You're just not gonna want to miss.
I see the KRS Comics Wonder Woman Black and Gold, which was on our CovrPrice top 10 at one point. They're doing that book is that's a KRS comic, as well as that Goblin Queen one. That's a KRS comic one. So there's Gun Honey too. I know you notice how they kind of put the graphic over Gun Honey there because because there's some stuff on there. But so make sure you check out CovrPrice.com or CovrPrice on Whatnot. Tomorrow they launch their new CovrPrice, and you don't have to buy anything, man. You just get a chance, and from what I've been told, they're just going to randomize and pick a winner. So there you go. Hey Gabe, are you back? Did you get Force knocked out of the show?
I think my hard drive just died on my other computer.
Holy crap, that sucks. All right, boys and girls, once again, so this is the CovrPrice Shakers of the Week. This list comes from our friends at CovrPrice, focusing on new high sales or the most interesting sales found on their exclusive daily Shakers list. This list changes several times a day, so make sure you check out for the hottest trending books on the market. So after we go through these top 10 books, we will see what's shaking today, and these are not in any valued order. This is just strictly alphabetical, so the pricing doesn't matter. So let's get it right off and kicking with the first obscure book on the list. What do we got here, Gabe?
All right, coming in first. Look at this crazy book we got going here. Wait, I think I just lost the email. Give me a second.
Go ahead. We'll have Jack read it then, and then you can do the next one.
All right, well, here we're talking about the birth of the Defiant Universe #1 from Defiant in 1993. And creator/publisher Jim Shooter should be a household name for those who have been in the comic game for a while. Starting in comics at age 14, he's been an editor-in-chief of Marvel, Valiant, and been heavily involved with Dark Horse. However, he founded 2 other short-lived companies, Broadway Comics and Defiant Comics. Defiant was appropriately named after being ousted from Valiant in 1992. To announce the formation of Defiant Comics, Shooter produced this Birth of Defiant Universe, a free comic limited to 1,000 copies given out to members at 1993's Capital City Sales Conference. Shooter himself signed almost all the copies, and the back of the comic even reads, "Defiant, the gloves are off." This was pretty much directed at Valiant. The comic includes previews of The Good Guys, War Dancer, Charlemagne, Dark Dominion, Prudence and Caution, and most importantly, it also featured Plasm, which we've highlighted in our 9/16/21 market report for its high market value. It's also the title that caused the publisher to fold after a lawsuit over the character by Marvel. This is a very easy book to pass up. Defiant isn't a well-known name for most comic fans, even seasoned collectors. However, hopefully you do now after seeing this week's new high sale of $350 for a raw copy.
Yeah, that is pretty. That's like some insider stuff, right? Like Defiant, like what is Jim Shooter? What is he a part of now? Is he doing anything now? I could have swore he was part of the other one. That I could be wrong though. I think that was Axel Alonso that started
Yeah,
that new
Axel
comic
Alonso's
company.
AWA.
AWA. So, but Jim Shooter's not part of AWA, is he?
No, I've seen Jim Shooter at some conventions this year. He's one of those guys where I don't think the current crop of comic fandom understand how like iconic he is and how much he's been involved in within the history.
Oh yeah,
of comics. He's kind of like underwhelming the response he gets at conventions, but absolute legend.
yeah. Big Jim Shooter, editor in chief of when Marvel Comics was really doing their big. If you think about the X-Men at their height, Jim Shooter was part of that ship with him and Chris Claremont when they were really doing big things. A big Jim Shooter. You always they always refer to him Big Jim Shooter. And I always want to talk about that Chris Claremont documentary that Jim Shooter is actually in it and how he butted heads with Chris Claremont because he wanted to bring back Phoenix, and it was Jim Shooter's idea, to bring back Jean Grey in X Factor 1. But Jim Chris Claremont was like, look, if I kill somebody, I want them to remain dead. All right, so all right, so
absolute legend. Absolute
Yes.
legend. He's done so much. He wrote Secret Wars. He's the one that put Frank Miller on Daredevil. He's the one that put Walt Simonson on Thor. Like those historical decisions were made by him. So he really changed the industry.
G.I. Joe wouldn't be G.I. Joe without him.
Transformers.
Exactly. Yeah. Getting Larry Hama to do G.I. Joe and Big Jim Shooter. I think he was the one that really kind of took the reins. I'm trying to think who was before. Was it
Roy Thomas?
DeFalco? Was the editor in chief before?
No,
Shooter?
it was Roy Thomas before.
Roy Thomas.
Shooter.
Yeah.
DeFalco
and
was after Shooter.
Yeah, and Roy Thomas is more of a writer than he is really, because editor in chief is a little bit different job title. You know what I mean? You have a little bit of different skill set than just be a writer. But you have to have the ability to make everything cohesive. So there you go. I have never seen this in my life. So if you do, snatch it up. Birth of the Defiant Universe #1. So for $350 for a raw dog. Wow. All right. Next up is an issue that I think a lot of you guys can get on the board with this one. I don't know about the grade, but I think you can get on the board.
Oh yeah, I'm excited about this one because I have this book, and we were just talking about this the other day on the show. But this week we're talking about Fantastic Four #50. This is the Silver Age #50 from 1966. Well, this isn't the first appearance of the Silver Surfer. It is the exact moment he became a hero and captured the attention of 1966's comic book fans. In this issue, the Surfer recognizes the weight of Galactus's feeding on a populated planet. After a failed attempt to his master, Galactus, Silver Surfer is forced to join the Fantastic Four, or is forced to join the Fantastic Four in battling the world-eating giant. The true hero is the Watcher, who breaks his oath never to get involved by leading Reed Richards into using the ultimate nullifier against Galactus, forcing him to retreat. Regardless, this is one of the most critical issues of our favorite Sentinel of the Spaceways. This week, a raw 9.2 sold for a massive $11,400 on Heritage. Whoa. For comparison, the last 9.2 sold in May 2020 for $3,866. That's one excellent investment. It's also a reminder that Surfer's key issues are rapidly increasing. If you're waiting to pick one up, the time to do it is now. So go. This is an important issue. This is the final of the Galactus series, and it's also the first appearance of the Ultimate Nullifier and first appearance of another Wyatt Wingfoot.
Wyatt Wingfoot, yeah. Let me look this up because I could have swore I may have CovrPrice.
I have a 9. I have a 6.5 that just came back from CGC.
That might be a typo because on the CovrPrice website it says it's a graded 9.2 that sold for $11,400. So that may be a typo on there. Just for reference, and highest known value is a 9.8 back in 2013 for 44 grand. Somebody in there said they had a 9 point. One of the guys in there said they have a 9.6. So there you go. Rush Die Hard. Woo, good Lord. I remember this book wasn't all that expensive until Disney bought Fox. That's when Fast 48, 49, and 50 all spiked in prices, right? We like to call it the Feige effect, right? And then it's only a matter of time. We pretty much all think Reed Richards is on the Illuminati and into the multiverse of madness, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer. Gotta be. So, I mean, Fantastic Four is huge, and everybody knows Fantastic Four. Hell, there was a goddamn album cover that had the Silver Surfer on it, which they got sued to, by the way, for that album cover. It was
everybody's new favorite character pretty soon.
Yeah, I think it was Joe Satriani's cover, if I remember correctly. Because I bought the album just because of the Silver Surfer cover on the album art. So, Fantastic Four number 50. I do believe it's a 9.2, not a raw dog. It's sold for $11,400 because I went on CovrPrice website and got that pricing. But all right, what do we got up next?
All right, next we got an affordable opportunity for you guys. We're talking about Identity Crisis number 4 from DC Comics in 2004. Now here's a very affordable shaker that costs an average FMV or fair market value raw price of $5. So why is this here? Well, if you're like us, you love Michael Turner, and I do. His art defined the late 90s and 2000s, and not only was he a fantastic person and creator, but we also have a deep level of nostalgia for the time when he was everywhere. His gorgeous cover for Identity Crisis number 4 featuring Wonder Woman is not even rare. There are 194 graded copies with 99 9/8. This series was a huge deal and had an equally large print run. Though this is still a new high sale of $225 for a CGC 9/8 this week. That's an excellent Gap book. Typically, a low raw value book would barely crack $50, let alone $200. While this all black cover probably plays a factor with its high grade rarity, this thick glossy book wasn't typically prone to color break creases. This is simply a cover collectors want and proves that a fantastic cover by a beloved artist can do very well in high grade.
Yeah, I mean, Gabe and I have talked about this offline or on Instagram. We tagged each other on Michael Turner's art on Witchblade and The Darkness, and it's just when I was deep in collecting when Michael Turner did the Witchblade series, and it was so hot. It was so hot to find. It was way before eBay, right? I had to drive around comic shops to hunt down like Witchblade number 1. Never mind that Cyblade versus She, I do believe, which is her first appearance. But probably my favorite. All the covers are dope, but the first appearance of The Darkness, I think on Witchblade 10, that all black cover. That one's sick as well too. Going back to Silver Surfer, because I said, people talking about surfing with the alien is the name of the album. Somebody else said Richard Gere is a Silver Surfer. Here's how Silver Surfer is kind of just is well known across popular media. Do you remember the movie Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington? Absolutely. And there was a fight between two guys because one guy said Mobius' version of Silver Surfer was better than Jack Kirby, and then Denzel Washington pulls him aside and said, "Come on, we all know that Jack Kirby's version of Silver Surfer is much better than Mobius." So just goes to show you the kind of how Silver Surfer goes, everybody kind of knows who the Silver Surfer, and it was counterculture when it came out because surfing, back then, the hippie days, people would ride waves, and who else would think that you put a guy on a surfboard surfing through the airways? But anyway, Identity Crisis issue number 4, the Michael Turner. He did some great covers, man. Michael Turner they still pump out some Michael Turner covers every now and then. I think what was it? Who does the Fathom issues? Aspen?
Aspen, yeah. Michael Turner's the Tupac of comic book artists.
Exactly. His covers just pop up everywhere. I think Aspen is still sitting on a lot of things. Unfortunately, Michael Turner left this way too early. But there's a great documentary if you can find it. Sometimes on YouTube about Michael Turner, and even the guys at Image said that he was the best of all of them as far as art. Like they all, you know, because you know how Liefeld, Lee, McFarlane, they all kind of had their own little imprints on Image. They all wanted Michael Turner because they said he was the best among them all as far as art, as an artist. But we're talking about Identity Crisis issue number 4, first printing from 2004, selling for $225. Love me some Michael Turner. All right, get ready. All right, I hope you guys are getting ready for a big fat Ofer.
Yeah, here's a new one for everybody. It Rhymes with Lust from St. John's, 1950. This digest-sized publication, drawn by the amazing Matt Baker, is considered the very first graphic novel. Those two factors are enough to draw out its highest sale of $2,160 for a CGC 5.0. And it's scarce and rarely comes up for sale. When writers Arnold Drake and Leslie Waller, under the pseudonym Drake Waller, were attending college, they came up with a concept to create a more developed comic book that felt more like a novel, which led to this industry's milestone. That's interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So before you think of the obvious, the character's name is actually Rust. That's what it rhymes with, you know, because if you're thinking, you know, woman, you think bust or whatever. Her name is actually Russ Mason or Mason, something along those lines. Because I was like, why is it? What rhymes with lust? But for 1950, that is incredible art for 1950. I mean, the way it's drawn, if you think about it, because normally, you know, Golden Age, you can kind of tell the way it's drawn, but I think that the way they draw her face on that is incredible. But there you go. It Rhymes with Lust from 1950 on the list, $2,160. Wow, that's incredible. What do we got up next?
All right, next up, one of my favorite covers. We're looking at Marvel Preview number 2 from Marvel in 1975. And the Punisher made his first appearance in Amazing Spider-Man number 129. But it wasn't until about 1 year later that we got his origin story in Marvel Preview number 2. This week, we had a record of $5,640 for a CGC 9.8, punishing the prior high of $4,080 from December of last year by $1,560. Until February of 2021, this book had a peak price of just $1,000 for a 9.8, meaning it has jumped by over 400% in just a single year. So make sure you don't overlook these key magazine-sized issues, since this run also features the first appearance of MCU fan favorite characters Star-Lord and Rocket Raccoon in Marvel Preview 4 and 7, respectively. Check those magazine boxes, boys.
I remember when the Guardians of the Galaxy movie was announced, that first appearance of Star-Lord was like a $2,000 book, man. It was huge, right? And it was all like this huge magazine seconds. I remember I had a slabbed one of first appearance of Star-Lord, and it was just when CGC slabs him, it's just like this gigantic piece of plastic that's covering it. But man, I used to see these in dollar bin boxes 5, 6, 7 years ago. I mean, maybe not dollar bin, but they were like $5, $10, but $5,600 for a 9.8. Wow. And it's hard to get in 9.8 too. I mean, first of all, magazine size comics are hard to get in 9.8 period. And also the black cover. So,
and they didn't have magazine bag and boards back then.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nobody was keeping them in anything.
Yeah.
They don't fit in boxes, all that stuff.
Yeah,
there's all kinds of stuff. I went to a mall and they had a bunch of magazines, and I'm trying to think if they even had bags and boards, not alone top loaders, because for a while I could only put magazines in top loaders for those type of things. But all right, so Marvel Preview issue number 2 from 1975. While we're halfway through, let's hear from our sponsor, MySlabs.com. If you're tired of paying 10% or 15%, join the 1% revolution.
Tired of paying 10%, 15%, or more to sell your cards, comics, and digital collectibles? How does 1% sound? Too good to be true? Well, not anymore. MySlabs.com is the web's premier user-driven marketplace for buying and selling slabbed cards, sealed wax, and now slabbed comics and digital collectibles. So the next time you're forced to pay 10% or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com and join the 1% revolution.
Wow, that. I want to highlight this comic because it brings up a great point. It reminds me of Patrick Nagel. For those who grew up in the '80s, Patrick Nagel art was absolutely all over the place. Just look it up and you'll know. Famously, I think there was a Duran Duran did a cover featuring. Just look up Patrick Nagel and you know what I'm talking about. It was a huge style of art that came out in the 80s, the way he styled it, and he had a couple of people follow him, his same style. But look up Patrick Nagel. He was absolutely a big time artist for his time. No longer with us either, so there you go. Sorry, bummer. So Marvel preview issue number 2 featuring the Punisher from 1975. Good lord, $5,600 for a 9.8. What am I doing wrong with my life? All right, so those are some. So you could have went good, I think 3. All right, this one, and this one. A lot of people have these, so maybe even this one. What do we got next?
All right, coming up next, another Marvel great book here. It's Submariner number 32 from 1970. Namor is one of the longest running MCU spec characters. Many hope to see the character's appearance in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Of course, this wishful thinking extends to many other Marvel characters as well. With that said, we know he's coming at some point. While there's no confirmation of any of the characters, there's still growing speculation. One bit of spec is Lyra, a Namor villain who's the combination of Mystique and Aquaman. She can change her appearance, has a telepathic connection to sea creatures, and is incredibly strong. However, due to switching into so many different personas, she has schizophrenia. The MCU loves relatable villains, and she's a perfect candidate for Namor if a solo film is in his future. While this is a long way away from being possible, it didn't stop her first appearance from selling a rare 9.8 copy at a new high of $2,640.
Yeah, when you said she had a telepathic connection to fish, immediately, for some reason, it just brought up Peacemaker and the scene with Aquaman. I just crack up every time I think about that. The long-standing rumor from spec websites and whatnot was Tanesh Huerta was going to be Namor, and from all I found out from people that I've talked to that are in the know, that he's not playing Namor, and I don't see him as a Namor. He just doesn't fit the bill as a Namor. Possibly White Tiger, but not Namor. So because he was cast for Black Panther 2, Tanesh Huerta. But Submariners, you got to get a big name actor to play Submariner, right? And somebody who has that area. That's why I was like, man, The Rock would have been perfect to play the Submariner. He's got that kind of arrogance. He's got the eyebrows, right? I mean, who knows? Maybe he's still doing it. He was meeting with Marvel for a while there. They were filming also in Atlanta together, so you never know. Maybe he can dip his toes into both ponds. I mean, The Rock has enough pull in Hollywood to be able to do that. So, and speaking of bad,
go ahead. For what it's worth, a very important person in the comic industry told me to buy Namor and Namorita. Said that their most consistent buy recommendation.
Oh yeah. I mean, Namor is coming. It's only a matter of time because there was a time where Universal had the rights to Namor and the Hulk, and I think the Hulk they still may have, but I do believe Namor they have the full theatrical rights to. That's why you don't see a solo Hulk film, because I think it's Universal, one of those studios, still has the theatrical rights to do.
Yeah, they'd have to split like Sony. They'd have to figure out some sort of.
Exactly. So the way Marvel goes around and doing it is making movies like Thor Ragnarok, where he's not the main. It's not the movie named whatever. That's why a movie called World War Hulk I don't think can happen because of those rights unless they work something out. But just like Sony's never going to give up Spider-Man, that's their cash cow. I mean, I'm pretty sure Universal is thinking, look, that we can make a potential cash cow, but they would have to work with Marvel to be able to make a solo film. Hulk, they did tried it in the past with 2 different Hulks. So I'm not, the Ed Norton version, it wasn't, I didn't hate it, but the first Hulk one is probably I think poo-pooed on a little bit too much, right? John Woo was, I think it was John Woo was the director, right? Who did the first Hulk movie. And they even did panels like a comic book throughout the movie.
Yeah.
It went a little crazy once Nick Nolte showed up, but Nick Nolte is kind of crazy, but it kind of went out there. But watch it again. You'll appreciate it. It's not as bad as people make it out to be, but John Woo really wanted to make it look like a comic book. So there's scenes where they move from panel to panel like a comic book. So, it is kind of a true adaptation of a comic book, literally. All right, so Submariner issue number 32 from 1970 sold for $2,600. Is that the same price as this one? No, that was $5,600. Wow, $5,600, $2,600. All right, what do we got up next?
All right, this one is Teen Titans number 75, the Adam Hughes 1 in 25 incentive that DC released in 2009. And back in 2014, and this is an era I remember, collectors were actively trying to track down this very hard to find 1 in 25 variant by Adam Hughes. It is easily the most expensive modern Teen Titan book and is a grail for collectors of the young super team. It doesn't hurt that Starfire is front and center in her typical scantily clad costume, for which DC changed in 2015 during the New 52 into something a little less revealing. This shift specifically happened after Starfire's over-sexualized appearance on the cover of Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 32 from 2014 by Scott LaBelle. The issue was met with much backlash. Regardless, this Hughes cover is still highly sought after, and as seen by this week's new market height of $1,051 for a CGC 9.8.
Wow. That is crazy. Just to think $1,000 from a 1 in 25 variant from 2009. Times have truly changed. It used to be, you know what? If I wait 8 months, I can get a 1 in 25, 1 in 50 for a lot cheaper. But those days I think are slowly going away when people, especially when you find an artist who was hot at the time, Adam Hughes. Thank you for correcting me in the live chat. It was Ang Lee who did the first Hulk movie, and Ang Lee wanted to do a art house comic book movie. If you know, Ang Lee also did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, right? I confuse my Chinese directors. Forgive me. John Woo is known for more like bullets and gunfire, and was it Ang Lee? Yeah, Ang Lee did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. John Woo did The Killer and Hard Boiled. If you haven't seen those, just so for people listening on the rewind, don't go off on a tangent and correct me that I got the wrong director for the first Hulk movie. It was Ang Lee, not John Woo, but both great directors. I highly suggest you check out John Woo's Hong Kong films, man. They are badass. So, Teen Titans number 75, the Adam Hughes 1 in 25 variant from two. Jack, we've talked about this in the past, and I think you also, Gabe, that in 2009, 1 in 25 variants. There weren't too many of them, right? 2009, no. There wasn't quite the boom yet. It was a little bit of the dark ages in the comics back then.
And back then too, stores didn't really price these up. They just threw them on the shelf a lot of the time because it was just like if I ordered 25 and I get a copy of it, I throw it on the shelf for regular price. So they weren't really being priced up that much this time either.
Yeah, then this one really came into popularity more during the height of the Adam Hughes craze that was largely spurred on by Legion of Super Heroes 13 or 23, the Supergirl cover. And once that book took off, then you started seeing literally every one of these hard to get Adam Hughes covers just get chased and escalate. I'm actually not shocked that it sold for this price. I kind of, a lot of these Adam Hughes books get like that. This one you just don't see it as often. You don't see this one on back walls at conventions.
No. And Adam Hughes, great cover artist. Adam Hughes, internal art, not so good. I don't know if you ever read a Adam Hughes like from internal work. I mean, obviously they can't do as much as they can on the cover, but man, I was really disappointed when I think 2 or 3 years ago. It was a Adam Hughes comic he did the internal art on, and I was like, wow, this is a bit disappointing because you're used to seeing his covers, right? But it just goes to show you cover art and internal artists are totally you'd have to know how to do storytelling when you're drawing internal art as opposed to cover art where it's just a lot of times it's just posing, to be honest with you. But Teen Titans number 75, the Adam Hughes, 1 in 25 variant, and I still don't know how his signature is not easily manipulated like that. It's just an AH apostrophe. I just don't understand exclamation mark. I meant so easiest signature to get ever, man. So if you ever do a mass signing, he could probably knock that shit out in like 2 minutes. All right, next up is a book most you think you have, but look at the fine print, because this was more of a rarity than you think.
Yep, go ahead and double check those books, guys, because we're talking about Thor: God of Thunder #2. This is the newsstand edition from Marvel Comics in 2012. We're due for a Thor: Love and Thunder trailer any week now, and fans are itching to see Christian Bale's performance as Gore the God Butcher. Recently, a Lego set image leaked showing Gore's appearance and even included the all-black Necro sword. For Gore's first appearance, prices have been steadily around $500 for a 9.8. However, this week, a newsstand edition has sold via auction at $736 raw.
Wow.
And it wasn't even advertised as a newsstand edition.
So let's pull up the graphic for reference here. 2013 newsstand versus direct market, 1% versus 99. That's pretty darn rare. I mean, I don't even know where the hell you would find a newsstand copy of a comic in 2012.
It was Borders.
Yeah, maybe Borders. Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's the only place. But yeah, so make sure if you check that, because I have mine. Mine is not a newsstand, so you don't get a point for that. Sorry, boys and girls, you got to have the newsstand. All right, what do we got up next? Oh, this is one of our favorite artists.
My apologies here, as I also lost the list, but now we're good. All right, he got Wolverine #310. This is the Stephen Platt sketch variant from Marvel in 2012. And Stephen Platt is mainly known for his iconic Moon Knight run. However, he also produced several variants for Marvel, which are incredibly tough to find. This variant is a perfect example. If you recall, in 2012 was a low print year, and there were not enough stores ordering 200 copies of Wolverine 310 to qualify for this sketch variant. It's so rare that most modern collectors aren't even aware that it's in the modern elite as one of the most expensive modern comics. This week's sale of $2,232.58 for a 9.8 cements this book's position.
Yeah, I have an unhealthy love for Stephen Platt art, especially from the 90s.
Oh, dude, you know who you're talking to.
Exactly, I know.
Love Platt, dude. I know it.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, the Prophet. Yeah, exactly. We were just talking. Yeah. Well, I was just going to bring it up. That Prophet that he did. Oh my God, the detail on that is crazy.
Yeah, his Moon Knight is one of the best things he's ever done. He's a fantastic artist. So
I think all those. Once Moon Knight comes out in live action, I think they're already pricey, but I think they're going to get another bump once it comes out, even though it has nothing to do with the characters in it. But I think collectors, anytime I see the Platt covers on the Moon Knight run, I buy them regardless, because
until he got announced as having a TV show, those Platt issues were really the only key anything Moon Knight at all for the most part. Were just those Platt issues until he became really hot. So those are really big issues. So they're always going to be hot too. They're great.
So I'm trying to think, because Prophet got optioned, right? I'm trying to think, did Platt do the art on Prophet #1, or was it still Liefeld at the time?
No, it was Dan Panosian's.
Dan Panosian, yeah.
Yeah, Stephen Platt came out on issue 5.
Yeah, I have that kind of foil cover of Platt that's a wraparound that is just crazy looking. So detailed down to just the little bullets that he drew on the cover. But I mean, his style has actually changed from modern times. There's some like variants he did. I think I saw one from like 2019, 2020. Unrecognizable. It was, and I was like, this isn't the Platt I want. I want the 90s Platt. I want this version of, even this 2012 Platt is different from his Moon Knight Platt, his Moon Knight art. So, you have to grow eventually, unless you're, Rob Liefeld, and still draw the same way, but this cover's sick. There's also the other variant is all color. This is this sketch variant in black and white.
I was going to say, speaking of Splat and Rob Liefeld used to pay Stephen Platt $40,000 an issue for profit.
Pay him
$40,000.
He got paid
per issue. Rob Liefeld would pay Stephen Platt for on profit.
Well, that was also the 90s when huge print runs, so you could probably afford it. But that's also, I mean, if you've seen that Image documentary, it's also why they went broke too. Because they were just paying like these really outrageous sums of money to get all these artists, and then after a while, people are like, the art looks great, but the stories aren't that good. How about getting some writers in here? And then that's when Valiant stepped up and said, "Yo, our art isn't as good as Image, but hey, we got some great stories." And then when the Valiant runs came out in the 90s, they were like the antithesis of each other, right? Image was known for the art, and Valiant was known for their stories. So I mean, if you think about Archer and Armstrong and all these other stories, even Turok, all these Valiant books that were coming out at the time, I mean, it was really the heyday of comics, where you go into your shop, you can see Marvel, DC, Image, Valiant. It was crazy. It was all over the place, man. But Wolverine number 310, the Stephen Platt sketch, 1 in 200 variant. Who in 2012 was ordering 200 of these? Good Lord have mercy. All right, down to the last one, but don't go away, boys. We're going to see what's shaking today. And what do we got for our last book?
All right, coming up, we got World's Finest Comics number 198 from DC Comics 1970. Somebody just paid $8,100 to learn who's the fastest man alive in a CGC graded 9.8. This issue features the third race between Superman and the Flash, the Barry Allen one. I'm a Wally West fan myself, but Barry was pretty cool. This aforementioned third race was billed as the race that must have a winner. Gasp! This is not a frivolous race between Metropolis's Speeding Bullet and Central City's Scarlet Speedster. There is, in fact, a time warp threatening all of creation, the Guardians of the Universe enlist Barry and Clark to run to the opposite direction of the warp and avert destruction. Of course, it's science. The fellows makes it a healthy competition, saving one another from perils along the way. These issues are getting really sought after because these stories are so much damn fun. Like the regular Justice League Justice Society team up, Supes and the Flash would race regularly, usually within harrowing ramifications, and each respective hero's fans cheering for them to finally be revealed as the king of speed. The previous two races, circa 1967, occurred in Superman and Flash's respective books, and each ended in a tie. This one, however, had a clear winner. The Flash wins the race, and then Superman peels off to destroy the machine, causing the warp. These races remain a reoccurring theme in DC Comics, but these early adventures are very beloved examples of Silver and Bronze Age storytelling that always generate massive collector interest.
Yeah, I know people have been collecting these for years and years and years. The races between the Flash and Superman is kind of like a side collecting thing. And I'm trying to remember, was it Josh Whedon's Justice League or the Snyder Cut where they had the race of Batman, Superman, and the Flash raced at the end of the film? I'm trying to think.
That's the Josh Whedon
yeah, because that's way too fun for Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder would have somebody die in the race, so but yeah, I remember it was at the end. And it was this cool little nod to comic book collectors, who were like saying, "Oh, look, they finally raced," because they're, people have been always arguing who's faster. I would say the Flash is faster because if you got a cape that's that's not aerodynamic, you know what I'm saying? Plus she has the Flash Force. So, so to me, the Flash is always going to be faster. So, all right, boys and girls. So let's go see what's shaking on today's Shakers list. I'm always seeing how quickly I can do this without losing your attention. There we are. Let me show this. All right. So as you can tell, you go to CovrPrice tomorrow. You can win on Whatnot. Follow CovrPrice And they're going to give a randomizer, and you $5,000 worth of comics will be given away that day. So there you go. There's our top 10. These are most units sold, but we are here to shake things up. So let's see what's shaking today, boys and girls. Wow, it asked me to log in. Oh, lucky you guys can't see my password. All right. Usual suspects. Oh, too bad my man Ryan is on there. He has Justice League of America #1. 8.0 sold for $12,500. Wow. First solo team, first appearance of Despero. So 12,000. Wow, I remember that book for a while, but nobody even cared about it. Kang. Wow, look at that. Now a 6.0 is 2,200. I'm glad I have a 7.0, so I think I'm looking pretty good on that one.
Yeah, that book is going to keep going up. Just wait till we see him again.
Speaking of Valiant, we were just talking about it. Harbinger #1, first appearance of the Renegades, $12.25 for 9.8. And I do believe there's a mail-in pink version somewhere of this as well. Here it is. If I go back. This is the coupon giveaway. This is the more rare of the two. I was hunting this one for a while, and I finally got it. Wow. Oh, somebody paid 8 cents. Anyway, $2.89 for 9.8. That's got to be a typo. But yeah, there was a coupon that came across multiple titles in Valiant, and you would mail them in, and they would send out more copies of Harbinger, and some of them you would get the pink one, if I'm not mistaken. You can correct me in the live chat, but I think it was it wasn't always going to be the pink variant that you got. We love us some pre-code horror. Look at this. Creepy #10 from Warren Comics.
Love these creepy covers. All these painted great covers back then. These are fantastic.
What the hell is that? I thought it was Frankenstein at first, but it looks almost like a merman type of dude. I don't know what the hell that is, but $1,300 for 9.8 for Creepy Magazine. Pre-code horror. Darth Vader, only going to go up in price. This is the first appearance of Dr. Aphra 000 and BT-1, $21.50 for 9.8. I have 2 of them off at CGC right now, so may the grades be with me. Do you remember when this book was hot? When the Spider-Man Far From Home?
Yeah. That's another infamously hard one to find in good condition because
just
so black.
Just look at the cover. Yeah, just look at the cover.
Yeah.
So a 7.5 sold for $1,200. Wow. Back in the day, this is 2019. So this is right when the Far From Home. Was it No Way Home or Far From Home? Far From Home, right? When we went to Italy or whatever. And remember the spec was Molten Man was going to move a 9.6 sold for $38,000. But then we found out, it was just Mysterio doing his weird thing, man, doing his illusions, which we had all guessed it was going to be. Another awesome stamp. Look at this. Good Girl Bondage cover. Tales of Horror and Suspense. Mr. Mystery. #6 from Stanley Morris, $8.99 for a 1.8. A 1.8 for $900. $4,000 for $3,200. It's not bad, but that is a dope cover, man. Never heard of it, but I dig it, man. Usual Suspects. Hey, Star Wars is going to be dominating these lists pretty soon, man. This is the first appearance of cover of Darth Krat, Cade Skywalker, and Darth Talon. Cameo cover only. Look at that. Star Wars
There's
Legacy.
so much going on with these Star Wars books. It's so hard for me to keep up or even understand because I've never read these Star Wars books before.
Yeah, well, Grand Inquisitor is the hot book now because of the trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yep. So yeah, so a lot of them they're pulling what used to be called the expanded universe is now canon. So I mean that's good news, right? For people who collect Star Wars comics. Look at this Moon Knight cover. This is gnarly. I dig this. Daniel Warren Johnson, 1 in 25. That's dope. I like that.
That's great.
Almost looks like a Phoenix Force cover. And first appearance of the Sun King. A lot of people still think that that what's his name is the Sun King. So we shall see. Here, speaking of the Grand Inquisitor, for first full appearance of the Grand Inquisitor, $575 for a 9.8. Yep, I saw this book all over my Instagram feeds, especially my Nemesis Prime, who has like 10 of them. He's been getting these for a while. Speaking of Adam Hughes, this is one of his more popular, famous covers. Gorgeous line work, as you could tell. $600 for 9.8. This Spider-Gwen volume number one, issue number one. Adam Hughes 1 in 100 variant.
I like this. Gorgeous. That's amazing.
Well, I like his style of solid black outlines on the characters. Cho does that as well. Does the solid black outlines on characters. It really makes it. Really makes it pop. Make it stand out. Here we go. This is the second appearance of Black Adam. First appearance in DC Comics. Before that, it was under Fawcett or some other shit. But I was just going to say, the bad news is Black Adam, so for $500 for 7.0, got delayed by 3 months. So, yeah, The Rock came out and said that Black Adam has now been delayed 3 months. It's going to be, I believe, an October release. The interesting thing is Shazam got moved up 6 months. So now Flash got moved back too. So Flash is now the last movie to come out. So to me, that tells me that quite possibly Flash could be some type of Flashpoint reboot of the DCEU. That's what I think, right? I mean, why else would they change the order of everything and make Flash the last movie? For those that don't know. Eerie Tales of Suspense, Strange Fantasy number 5 from Feral Comics. Look at that. That is gnarly. No wonder the Comics Code came out. You know, can't be having your kids reading this. That looks holy gnarly, man. $472 for a 5.0. My goodness. More Shazam comics. So, you know what's amazing to me? Shazam is coming out soon, and man, we haven't gotten another trailer yet for Shazam 2, or have we even had a first trailer for it yet? I'm trying to think, man. So, look at this Batman book. Who the hell is that? Who is that? So that's Catwoman. Is that Catman? Who is that dude? Featuring the King of the Cats. Yeah, I guess so. Man, that is goofy. Bondage for Batman and Robin, though. So if you're into bondage covers of male superheroes, there you go. This is interesting. I want to see what's going on with this book. Some of you know something that I don't. Spider-Woman number 37. Look, is that the first female Banshee? Yep, first appearance of Siren. I knew it. $400 for a 9.8. First appearance. This is, I believe, Banshee's daughter. I want to say, I think it was her name. She's got the same costume, but you know what? That character really needs to be more. I need old school Banshee. I mean, we got some of them and the younger version of him, but I want that yellow costume and the flaps and everything, man. I need to see that. I need to see that happen.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Ice Cream Man. Oh, good old Ghost Rider 327. Oh, what is that? Oh. Raphael Grassetti, NYCC, limited to 1,000 copies from September 2021. Look at that. Now that is dope. Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 30. $330 for. So wait, NYCC in 2021, it was all virtual, wasn't it? Did they even have a?
No,
did
yeah,
they have
yeah. We had a big booth.
Oh, I was trying to remember because I was like, man, wait. So New York is out of the pandemic at the time already, right?
Yeah. It was like fresh out. It was like one of the first big conventions. Conventions started coming back in the fall, and it was everything pushed back to like later in the schedule.
How was the attendance though? Was there a ton of people there, or
a ton? It was less than a typical NYCC, but still like a pretty full crowd. It was a rocking event.
Yeah, I think people are clamoring to get back to conventions. So WonderCon. Yeah, WonderCon takes place in like 3 weeks from now, so hopefully I will be there. I'm going to Vegas a week before that, so depending on how well I do at the tables, I will or will not show up at WonderCon. Man.
You got to hit me up when you come to Vegas, Tim.
Yeah, I'll be there on the Sunday through Tuesday on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. I'm going for a wedding, a relative's wedding, so I'll be. Okay. Yeah, so I'll hit you up, man. I'll be staying at the Mirage because I can't believe I still have points. They comped me a room, so I was like, I'll stay at the Mirage. Fuck it, I don't care. Shit.
Yeah, free room's a free room.
Yeah, we always talk about this. This is before the actual really popular Captain Marvel run that starts at number 25.
Yeah, this is before Jim Starlin took over.
Yeah, before Starlin took over. $295 though for 9.6. But if you look at this one, the next cover. This is when Stardom really kind of took it cosmic, and this is the Stardom run 25, I think, through 34, I believe, are the runs that really collectors are sought after by collectors. Here's the Illmatic hip hop variant. This is dope. The Adi Granov variant, which is the homage to Nas.
That's probably one of the best ones. That has to be the best one.
The homage to Illmatic by Nas. Yep. Raw Comic 250. Wow. Do you remember there was last year there was like a run on hip hop variants and everybody was getting them and they cooled off some? I literally had 130 different hip hop variants because there were so many that Marvel came out. And I'd sold most of them through auction, but I still probably have 50 of them that I kept that were, issue number ones, like Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, the hip hop variant, and some other ones. Hey, I have this. This is like literally just bought it a couple weeks ago. This is Moon Knight issue number 3, the Rod Rise, 1 in 25. Look how dope that is. First appearance of Hunter's Moon, $240 for 9.8. I'm telling you, every issue the Moon Knight comes out, any of those variants are pretty hot. We'll look at one last one. Wow, look at that. Death of Superman is on here. What the hell's going on, man?
That's the platinum.
Yeah. Even the platinum's editions were cheaper for the longest time. Let me see. Hold on. How much is this sell for? $245 for 9.2. Good Lord.
That's impressive for a 9.2.
Yeah, because I'm assuming they had, because you never know what it is when it's inside the bag. You don't know what the hell it's going to be. Look at this Punisher cover. This is the Alex Ross Timeless Virgin. Look at that. I'm glad. It's cool how they did the whole wraparound cover on it. Sketch 1 in 100 from March 2022. $245 for a raw. That is dope. I dig that. All right, boys and girls. Well, we've kept you captive long enough. So appreciate you guys all for hanging out with us on the Shaker Show. Gabe, any last words?
Everybody, thanks for showing up. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next time.
All right, Jack, any last words?
Yes, Free Fest Friday tomorrow on the Whatnot app. Make sure you join 3 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Pacific. CovrPrice makes their debut. Everything's free. 5K worth of books. Major titles. Shout out to Boom Studios, KRS Comics, Image and Skybound, and Scout Comics.
There you go. So make sure. So it's 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. Sign up to Whatnot. Follow CovrPrice, and they're just going to give away stuff. And it's going to be, I talked to Matt from CovrPrice, and I think Whatnot is just going to be picking random names. So it's not going to be like you have to answer questions or bid or anything. It's just going to be a randomizer, leave a comment or something along those lines. So check out CovrPrice on Whatnot tomorrow so you could win some of these gorgeous variants. So, yeah, can't wait. I will tomorrow, noon. I'm not doing shit. I think I'll join. I'll probably join in.
Absolutely free.
It's absolutely what's better than that, boys. It goes free comics. Come on now. Come on, guys. All right. So yeah, just watch it. And then you may win some free shit, man. I just bought my first Whatnot comics from, the other day, and it was smooth. It was like, you sent me an email, an invoice, everything. And it was like done. I was like, wow, that was easy. Okay. You don't have to do separate payments. So I was like, cool. All right. I bought it from, my man Manimal. So follow me on. I'm actually on CovrPrice. Lords of the Long Box. I haven't sold anything yet. Doing 3 shows a week, it gets tiring. So as soon as I get enough energy, I will pop in there and I'll sell you guys some cool stuff. But until next time, boys and girls, I will see you guys Sunday. We're gonna have a Shaker show with Letters of Long Box and Mikey Sutton, who has got teasing some Agents of Atlas news. So you might want to tune in for that for a long-term spec list. So until next time, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes and peace out.
Shake and make it, pull it back. Oh my God.
Come on and get some, boys.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 3 greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe.
name I've not heard.
TV.
Laugh it up, fuzz, buzz, buzz, buzz.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is update.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is update. In this, you shall know that the Lord is update.
Go on and get some, boys.
Heck, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is update.
What's in the box?